Okay, we're live. So I'll just get my other computer set up, scrub forward. If you're watching on the YouTube recording until something starts happening, usually takes a while for people to come in, and so yeah. Happy 4th of July to everybody. Well, it's actually 5th of July now, but what did I do? Hi, Kathleen. Trying to get a pop-out chat. I'm almost set up here, so we'll be good to go. Hi, Journal Jewelry. Hey, Judy. Hi, Nanette. Hi, Dabbler. All right, let's get a live chat going. Mindy. Come on. All right, we're set up. So I hope everybody had a good holiday, at least if you're an American. We had a pretty good one. Didn't do anything, you know. Down here, when you're in a resort area, you don't plan much. Next year I'm going to plan to leave. How's that? Hi, Terry. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, the best thing for me to do would be just to leave. Get the hell out of town. Today is actually pretty quiet, so maybe they're all packing up and going home. Did y'all get tired of me talking about the city buttholes? God. Last night, I swear, there were fireworks. Not little fireworks. These were great, big, huge, booming fireworks going. I went to bed about 10:30, and 11 o'clock I finally just put on my headphones. Hi, Dee Dee. It was insane out there last night. So, yeah, it's just craziness, sheer craziness. I hope they're having fun. Nanette, did I say hi? I think I did. So anyway, you guys, this weekend I knew I wanted to make the mini journals like these little bad boys. So I went down in my storeroom to look for the leather. I knew I had leather down there. So I went down in my storeroom, and my storeroom scares me. Hi, Diana. And I wasn't quite sure where I had put it, and I knew it wasn't labeled, and so it was just like, ugh, do I really want to do that? But I did. And while I was looking around down there, I found a tub of old cross stitch that I had done. So this is one of them, and this is from '93, but I'm going to show you guys quickly while we're waiting for people to come in and before I get going. This was one, Denver Bronco. I used to be a huge Denver Bronco fan when I lived in Colorado. Now I've moved, so yeah, I'm not that big a fan anymore. I can't keep up with the news, and my nephew sends me the Denver Post newspaper every day in my Dropbox. But I'm just not interested in keeping up with the news. Oh wait, there's some really neat ones coming. I just used this kind of to focus and use colors and stuff like that. But in case you're wondering whether or not I've always loved wooden boxes, my son Jamie found this in the trash, and he cleaned it all up and refinished it, and made me this. He did all the lining, and I've got to fix it because I didn't realize that had come unglued. But he did all the lining and all the measurements for my, let's see what I'm going to direct here, for all my cross stitch or my embroidery floss. Isn't that cool? And this has been packed away for so long. Hi, Jane. Yeah, I thought that was, and I don't know what he spent on it. He had to go buy the velvet and stuff like that. But I would bet that he probably spent less than $5 on it. And honestly, I couldn't have, at the time that he gave it to me, I could not have loved anything more. He could not have gotten me a diamond ring that I loved more than I loved this box. That he took the time and the effort and everything when he saw it, that he thought about me. Those are the kind of gifts that I just love. So, yep, that's how thoughtful Jamie is. And I just keep all the extra stuff in there. But yeah, I haven't sewed in years and years. I stopped about the time we moved down here. Hi, Kimberly. It is. It's a beautiful box. And I probably should repurpose it now. Because I don't think I'm going to ever return to cross stitch. Or I should find somebody who loved it, would love it as much as I did. And let them enjoy it, right? But wait till you see. I couldn't even fathom what I had done with all my cross stitch. And you can see I stitched a lot, but I never, some of them got in frames, and a lot of them I did for gifts. But here's some little baby Christmas socks. That's my grandson, granddaughter, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, and son. But I bought, these are children's Christmas socks, and after Christmas you could buy them for like no money. It's hard on my eyes too, Jane. I think I could still do it. I just don't know if I would really enjoy it. So yeah, these were, I like these little elf ones. But yeah, get little baby socks so you could have a stocking for everybody. And I probably was going to put little gifts or something in these. Who knows? I have no clue what I was thinking. So I'll just show this stuff really quick. And I'm backed off a long way because some of these are big. This one I actually should get framed because I do love this. This wasn't fun sewing though because of the colors. It was so hard to see the colors. I guess I didn't date that one. This one's from '91, so you know how long ago it's been. Pepsi Cola. And these were going to be a set of pictures. 2 of the iris. So I really should do something with this stuff, right? This one, honestly, I love this one so much. This is a sampler, and it's big. And it's got beads on it. So I love this one, and I love the colors on this one. So look how huge this is. That took a long time. Yeah, I've done linen. I've done lots of different materials. Let's see. Oh, I didn't date this one either. What a dope I am. Yeah, what a dope. But yeah, that one really deserves a frame. It really does. I should frame it, right? And then these were something for the kids. I don't know what they were. Sometimes I just did little fun stuff because I could. And I think this was for a little baby pillow because I have one similar to this in blue. Yeah, they're the same pattern. So I was going to do something with those. I just don't know what. You stitched your way through the 80s. You had to pull over. Well, thank you, Mary. Hi, by the way. there's a bunch in here. Lot unfinished. Here's all the Kermit and cartoon characters. And then I actually have some hanging in the guest room. This one I didn't finish because it should have a kind of like a mat, a sewn mat, like this one. Those were simple and easy. I could get those done really quick. Merry Christmas. I didn't even look at these. I just drug them out of the box and brought them in. And this, I think, is called Cruel. My mother had actually started this and never got it finished. So I went ahead and finished it for her. And this is where it sits today. And they need to be washed again and ironed. But they're all folded up in this box. And this is my favorite. This was big too, but this was fun as hell. It's a great big huge Monopoly board. And I was going to frame it and then get the pieces and hang it on the wall in our rec room in our house in Boulder. But I was going to get Parcheesi and all of them so that you could actually take it off the wall. And it is the exact size of a game board. So this one, yeah, I love this one. And I should do something with it, right? I'm such a dope. That one definitely needs to be washed and ironed. I think I was doing this one for my daughter-in-law. Happy Easter from the Young family to everybody. They're just so cute. And at the time I was quilting as well, so... And when I got down there, I found a bunch of my quilting stuff, and it was just like, God, I don't know what I was doing with all these. I think I was doing a baby quilt, is why I had those. Look at Santa Claus. Oh, this one's fun. I forgot about this one. I like this one. It's just a kitty face, and the only thing I sewed was his eyes, ears, and whiskers. The rest is just the background material. I like that. I used to have apples in my kitchen, so I did this. This is probably the most, well, I was going to say the most recent one, but this was 89, so go figure. But it's pretty, very colorful. And I just like this one because of what it says. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I did do tons of them, right? And these are not even the ones that I gave away. Or, yeah. I did a whole series of, in fact, Dee Dee, the ones that you designed, I'm sure I had either seen or owned that book at one point. But there was an entire book of duck stamps. And so I made for both Jim and my oldest son all those duck stamps. And I almost wish I had those back. Yeah, so, yeah, that was my cross stitch. I just thought, heck, I'll show you guys. And then, Saturday, and I'll pull the camera down now. I got my print from Dee Dee, so thank you. I have all of them. Yeah, see, I know I either owned your book, but I've given all the, well, most of the books away. Yeah. So I can't even go back and look because I've given all of them away. So today, I said last week when I was streaming that it would be fun to make these little journals. And I thought I would prefer Traveler's Notebook closure rather than this, because this, and I love this journal, so don't think I don't love the journal. I do love the journal, but this big heavyweight closure makes it hard to work with sometimes, because when I'm drawing, it's in my way, it's under my hand. Doesn't stop me from doing it. This Zentangle one, okay, I'll show you from where I finished last. I don't remember if I'd shown you guys this. Let me pull down so you can see it better. Come on, focus, you freak. There we go. And I didn't do as many this week. I don't know why. Probably because I was frustrated with city buttholes. I'm not fuzzy. You know what's weird is I brought in the extra lights today, Dee Dee, so go figure. So what, I got maybe 5 or 6 done this week is all. So yeah, so yesterday I was just goofing around, and that's what got me down looking through the totes in the storeroom. And honestly, I need to go do something with that storeroom. I need to get rid of stuff. I have stuff down there I'll never use, like quilting supplies and material, and oh my god, there's so much stuff. So yeah, so I thought I would do that. Well, before I found the leather, and that's what got me downstairs looking for the leather, I went ahead and did one. Robert had torn the leg off his pants, intentional. I'll pull out a little bit. Anyway, so I just cut a piece of denim just to kind of test and see how it was going to work. I ended up loving this little denim one, and now I wish I had sewn, and it's not too late, I still can, to sew like a border around it, or just something to decorate it a little bit. So here's the prototype of what I thought. But the thing that's going to work out well about this is, even though I've got the little medallion on the closure part, I can pull it out of the way. So when I'm drawing flat, right? So yeah. And on this I chose a little bit better paper. Yeah, see, if I'd have thought ahead, Rachel, I could have gotten out. Now, this is me losing my freaking mind. I could have gotten the, Kimberly, if you love it, I'm going to send it to you. I could have gotten out the sewing machine and just done a zigzag around it to keep it from fraying. But actually, I frayed it a little bit on purpose, just because I kind of liked the way it looked. So, yeah. So yeah, I think you could use anything for a cover. It doesn't get any floppier than denim. So yeah, use it for anything, right? And then while I was looking for my leather, I found one that I had made before. I'm not sure what the intent was, but it didn't have any paper in it. It was just like a trifold cover. So I went ahead and cut the inserts. So this one ended up being a little bit bigger, which I like, and I think I'm going to put this one in my purse. The problem is that hole in the back, I'm going to have to put something on there to reinforce it, because the elastic knot just slips right out. It is boho, right? Hi, Kathy. Yeah, the binding in the striped, if I'd have had striped elastic, I would have used that too, but I just tried to pick something that was kind of close. But yeah, with the little charm, I think it's just freaking cute. So anyway, I better write myself a note, because I know me, and I'll forget that I told Kimberly I'll send it to her. So we're going to make at least one of these today. You could use a cut from a man's shirt too. Exactly, Kathy. I mean, I think you just get as inventive as you want to. This black leather, I had made some TNs, different size TNs, and this was years ago, before Traveler's Notebook were really kind of the thing. I had seen them, of course, and I loved them. But this was my very first Traveler's Notebook that I made myself. And this, it's a really odd size. But this leather I found at a thrift store, and it was a full-length black leather coat that they sold for $3. So, yeah, this was my first one. And I still love this Traveler's Notebook. This was, yeah, that was going to be color experimentation. And then a book of drawing exercises, and yeah, actually this one's in backwards. Because when I work in these, I do take the books out and play in them. So, and sometimes when I open up this stuff, I find stuff that I've been looking for a long time. So anyway, yeah, when you go to a thrift store or something, keep in mind, you know, because I got this for the leather for this for $3, and I made a ton of them. A lot of people have TNs out of this black leather, and it is kind of floppy, but I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me even a little bit. So yeah, this was a piece of leftover that I had already cut and rounded the corners, and it was just like, dang girl, you were on it. So this one I'm going to keep myself just because I like the weird little size. And I'm going to put this charm on it when I can reinforce that hole in the back. I just haven't figured out yet how I want to do it. But that little charm is really cute. It's like a little envelope. Thanks, Judy. So let's figure it out. When I went looking for the leather, I was looking actually for some leftover black, but I didn't have any. And I've had this leather forever. I don't know where it came from. Don't know what it was. Finished on one side. Brushed on the inside. I could either cut this up. I don't know what I was doing with this. I have no clue. It just ended up in the tote that had the leather in it, which I did finally find. And here's some other, this is more, you know, rough on both sides. I think I bought this for some purpose, but I don't know what the purpose is now. How about that? Here's some more leather, and this I think I've had for years. I love this leather because it looks distressed. You know, it's got marks on it, and so I love this leather. And I have multiple pieces of that, so I don't know what this was. I really don't. This one's got a cut in it, so I'd have to use, you know, other pieces. But I think I could get some usable pieces out of it. Why does anybody have this much stuff that they have no clue why they have it or where they got it? That's what I want to know. This could be a really nice one. I think I'm going to put that one out because that's a nice piece of leather. See, and I've never really done much with leather. That's why I think it's so weird that I even have this stuff. I probably was planning on it at some point. Yeah, see this one, it has a fly in it, but I think there could be enough in there I could scavenge. That's a nice piece. So it looks like we're going to be using this tan. Why do I have it? And then this one, I got this out. That one I'm going to leave out because I think I'm going to use that one for sure. This piece of leather was also a coat that I got at a thrift store, and it's floppy, and it had lining in it. So I just cut the arm off because this one will be easy to use too. You think so, Rachel? This is really soft. I mean, it's very pliable. But it's also very rich looking. Like it looks rich. And like on the black, because it was very thin like this leather, what I did was glue two pieces together. So the inside and the outside, there was no rough side of it. There was a rough side, but after I glued it together and cut it, there's no rough left. So, Jane, maybe that's what I did. I picked up interesting stuff that I might use someday. And now I'm living with the consequences of that. Hey, CB. I had a good 4th. It'll be better later on today when all the city peoples go home. So anyway, I'll make the first one the same size as this and use these measurements. But after you see it and get the idea of what you intend to do, you can make this any size and then determine the insert size yourself. But I'll start with this one just because it's so dang cute and it's actually usable. Like the pages aren't too small that you can't use them. So if it gets much smaller than this, honestly, it's not going to be usable. Unless you're just going to glue stuff in it or something. Thanks, Barbara. You used to put, yeah, Rachel, I could do that. And there is stuff. You can buy at the fabric store stuff to stiffen it. And I probably have some downstairs. I just didn't go that far looking for it. But yeah, you can buy stuff to stiffen it. But I don't mind that it's floppy. In fact, there's something nice about that, to be honest. So anyway, I'm just gonna just thinking how I want to do this. I'm going to cut this piece of the arm off where that seam is. That's the thing about coats too. Like, they only have them certain times of the year, so it's not like you can walk in and get them anytime. At least at mine. They take the coats down at some point, so you've got to be there at the correct time. But coats also have a lot of seams, and like this, the decorations and stuff that may or may not be usable for whatever your intent is. Just saying. I'm going to leave this one floppy. If I make more, I can always glue two together just to see how it feels. And this coat was actually worn quite a bit. Some of it had stains on it, and I'm sure that's why whoever got rid of it got rid of it. But you can see the wear marks in the sleeve and on the seams. Barb, did I even say hi to you? I hope I did. I get started and then I can't think straight, you know? Alright, so I know that this book... I'm going to double check my measurements, but even though I think I remember what they were from the other day. And you get to use a ruler, so anytime you get to use your ruler, you know it's a good day in America, right? America. Alright, so it's roughly 7 inches long and 3 inches high. So, when you're working with the leather, you have to first strike a straight edge. So I'm going to show you that here in a minute, how I managed to do that, and then hope to God that it's somewhat close, right? Because don't trust something that you think is a straight edge, because chances are very good that it's really not. So get it down to a workable size. And this is kind of wrinkled, but I'll put something heavy on it to flatten it. And if you have to dampen it a little bit, you can do it with heat or whatever too. But I'm going to probably try and do it with weight rather than water. Water on leather is not a good thing unless you want to distress it. And water on leather will also make it mold. Dee Dee would love that. It would be like home in her art room with her lab experiment. So I'm just going to take a piece of yeah, there's always enough leather in skirts, pants, coats. I just got really lucky finding these coats. That black one, it was, I don't know why whoever got rid of it got rid of that, because like this one, there were wear marks and some stains and stuff on it. So I knew why they'd gotten rid of this coat. The black one, I could never figure out why they had given that crazy coat away, because it was pretty much flawless. So I'm just going to tape it down so I can keep it steady while I'm cutting it. What did Dee Dee have to say? No, she's just laughing at me. Hi, Teresa. Anybody else who's coming in while I'm doing this? I'm going to get a new blade for my X-Acto. So I know I'm working with something really, really sharp. I think you'll have better luck. Buy X-Acto blades in bulk. They're cheaper, and then you don't worry about having to change them. These are out of the box. I just put them in here so I could have access to them really quick. Because I change my blade a lot. Just be a little careful when you're handling them. They are sharp when they're brand new. Like really sharp. Alright, here we go. Get the ruler and the X-Acto out, and life just got infinitely better. Double blade. I didn't double bag my blades. Dee Dee, they're just, okay, she's such a pain in the ass. I had multiple bags of blades, okay? These blades are for my pencil sharpeners. They came in this bag when they came delivered. I'm sure it's from China, but let's don't talk about that. This was in the same drawer, all flopping around, and I thought, well, why not just keep them together, right? There you go. Like with like, Dee Dee. I learned that from you. All right. Now, I'm going to trust the lines on this cutting board, and I think they are accurate, so it's all good. So, pick one. Dee Dee's here just to give me crap today, I think. All right. You're going to have to, in fact, I'm going to put the ruler the other way so that that cork doesn't slide on the leather. And anytime you're cutting like this, press pretty hard on your ruler. Let the sharpness of the blade do its work, but make sure you're putting some ass on the ruler so whatever you're cutting isn't moving underneath. And I'm not pushing down on this blade. It's sharp enough that it should just cut, see it just cut perfectly. That's my free advice to you. Alright, now I'll pick one of these edges to be my straight edge this way. And I should have cut off where it's rolled over, but it'll be okay. All right, we got 2 straight edges. Now we'll do the measurements. I said it was 3 inches up and down. Take that, I just whacked you in the face. And I will use, let me see, maybe a pencil mark will be adequate, right? Yep, it is. Yep, it moved. So I gotta double check. Don't do stupid stuff like me. I would have noticed that because, and I typically do this because I've done enough of it that I've learned by doing dumb stuff all the time. Because these marks on this cutting mat are 1/4 inch, I should come close to one of the lines, but I can also double check with the marks that I made that those lines are trustworthy. They're really not right now, so I've got to fix my thing. Because if you're going to do it right, you know? We did go down the other night and watch the fireworks over at Shangri-La. And they were amazing. So good job, Shangri-La. But that's about all we did, other than eat like pigs. I did get us holiday food, so we've been eating like pigs. But otherwise, it was just another day in the life around here. Okay, 7 inches is what I said. Let's see if that worked. Yep, pretty spot on. So now, even though you had a piece of material that wasn't square, if you have a cutting mat or something like that, you can make it square. Hey, Elaine, I was just thinking about you. I thought, damn, I haven't seen Elaine around in forever. What the heck is going on, girl? I think I'm done with the tape now. I just showed those black journals and said that you had one. I made a bunch of them and gave you one. When we went to the thrift store and found that black jacket, remember? All right, stuff like that, throw it away. Don't be a hoarder. Okay, so now I'll do all the measurements on the inside. And it's going to be a wraparound cover like this, right? So because I'm using this as an example, I will use these measurements. But you can alter these for any size, okay? We know this is 7 inches. We know we want it to wrap around. So just use that. That this one's going to be the full length of your inserts, as big a spine as you want. And then you can always wait to determine this measurement at the end if you want. You know, I haven't been in that thrift store, Elaine, in probably since you left. Hi, Joan. It was closed down during COVID, so even if you'd wanted to go, you couldn't. But yeah, I haven't been in there in forever. I don't need anything. I need no more thrift store stuff. Okay, just so you can see, the measurement for the first fold from here to here is 2 inches. So we'll go ahead and use that measurement. And I'm going to trust my the edges that I cut. Okay, I don't know how much you guys can see. I can pull you down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and draw the lines. You wouldn't have to do this, but just for you guys, I will. And they're light because I'm using graphite. I can always go back and erase them as well. I'm going to keep the spine the same size because I'm going to put the same number of signatures in. You can make this as big or as little as you want. On this little black one, I only put 4 signatures in. So you can just alter that for whatever size you want. Hey, Lady Jen. Here, you guys are getting some really warm weather up there. That's crazy. And the crazy thing is, we would normally be a blast furnace in Oklahoma. We've not had those temperatures. We've had rain and cool weather. So, I don't know. The earth has tipped on its axis or something. Okay, now, if my math is right, I should have exactly 4 inches. Yep, pretty much 4 inches. So, yep, everything looks like it's working out. Now I'm going to determine where my signatures are going to be. And if I want 6 signatures, I'll start by determining the middle, which is a half. And then just do the math and figure out that if I want 6 signatures and there's 8 eighths in an inch, you can have an eighth on either edge and 6 in the middle if you keep them an eighth of an inch apart, right? So I'm just lucky because I'm good at math this way. But you could do that the same way with, you know, putting more space in between your signatures or making the spine wider. The only thing is you'll have to lengthen your piece of whatever you're using. Right? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it. That one's hard to see. Okay. And while you're doing your measurements, in this particular book, the signatures are a 1/4 inch less than the overall size. So split the difference, an eighth on either side. That's where your paper is going to stop. And then for determining how to sew your signatures in, I always do one hole right in the center and then come down from the top and the bottom. So this one happens to be just about a 1/2 inch top. More than that, no. Yeah, like they put more at the top than they did at the bottom. But generally what I do is figure out the center, which is 1.5 inches. Probably should have used a pen on this, but yeah, I still can. Because this is where I don't want to goof up, right? Because it's all going to be hidden underneath your signatures anyway, so you don't have to worry about your marks. So determine your center, up and down, and then decide how much you want on either edge. I'm going to go with 1/2 inch. To me, I think is good. And the reason I make the 2 marks is so I get as straight a line as I can manage, right? Because the straightness, despite what Dee Dee and some of the other streamers tell you, is important. I will center mine. You know I will, Dee Dee. Because at the end of the day, now see, this one I don't notice, and I don't think it's sloppy or anything like that. But they should have just done the same spacing. What the hell? Why not? It makes people like me less crazy. And everybody should be interested in that. If you like Robert even a little bit. Buddy was so cute this morning, though, Dee Dee. I want to send him a whole box of Harlequin romance now, though. I'm going to make new marks. No, I can see him good enough. No, I'm making new marks. Sorry. Because remember, I'm going to be punching holes here in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What the hell? Oh, that last one I'll ignore. Okay, there we go. So you know, if you draw the lines down like this now, everywhere your lines intersect, and I would say go to the trouble to do this. Everywhere your lines intersect, you're going to want to punch a hole. One nice thing about using this floppy leather, I can just use an awl to punch it. If it's thicker leather, they make punches. I happen to have a set. I'm not going to use it for this, though, because this is so small and I don't have that small a punch. Is the measuring driving you crazy, Dee Dee? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more line. The measuring just makes me happy. So there you go. Alright, except that a less crazy Janet. Yeah, that's probably true, Rachel. Alright, so there, now you've got a place where you're going to punch your holes. And because I plan ahead, well, I don't, I'm lying. At least I planned ahead today, or yesterday. I have a handy dandy little awl. And if you don't have a bookbinding kit, they actually have them on Amazon really cheap, where you get this awl, like 5 things of waxed linen for your binding. I don't know which color binding I'm going to use. Do I want this or this kind of lighter honey color? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this one so it's less obnoxious. Now I could go with black at this. Yeah, use an ice pick if necessary. I'm going to look. Alright, I may change my mind. Reason being, these are the colors of elastic I have, plus black. So I could at this point use the black thread for the binding, and then the black cord for a closure, or I could go with the lighter. So I just think of that stuff because I'm a little bit matchy-matchy. So now I'm kind of wanting to go with the black. so it's matchy-matchy. But this, hang on, let's just do some experiments here while we're doing it, because who cares? If the closure is this color, the light color might not be too bad. Or everything black. Everything looks good with black. I'm going with black. Don't you think black? The rest of the world calls that OCD. We don't need to be talking that way. Yeah, I'm going with black, Dee Dee. But the light color would look nice too. So, and this one would be okay too. I just don't have the thread to matchy it. All right, we're going with black because you can never go wrong with black, right? All right, so I'm going to carefully now punch these holes. And I'll do them all at once. So everywhere the line intersects, I'm going to punch a little hole. And because this is so flimsy, I don't want to get too crazy because I think I could tear it really easily without too darn much effort. And I'm being mindful to keep my fingers out of the way. And these don't have to be huge because all that has to happen is that the wax linen goes through them, right? Okay, so for right now, I've got all the holes, and I can see it on the outside of the leather. So that means good, right? It's not suede. It's, well, I mean, it's been tanned on one side and then rough on the inside. I don't know what kind of animal has this, and it might be faux. I don't know. But, yeah. What's CB saying? Janet even likes to match her ball caps. I do, CB. I do match my ball caps to my outfit. I do. And if I don't have a ball cap that matches, I always wear, CB can probably answer you this, I wear an off-white one, a tan one. So y'all make fun of me, I don't give a rat's butt. It's the little things that make me happy. Okay, and this is an old, I gotta pull out again. This is an old sketchbook that I got on sale at, I think Meininger's, some art store, because it had gotten paint on it. So they were selling it for nothing. So I thought, well, I'll use the paper for something. Well, today I'm finally using the paper. So I know I need, I'm going to have 6 signatures of 8 papers, right? I thought you were going to say you wear the cap and forget the clothes. No, I'm the most modest person in the world. You won't catch me going anywhere without clothes, ever. I'm so modest. Okay, so I know the inserts are going to be, let's see, is it 4 inches by 2 inches? All right, now I gotta look again. Hell, measure them, stupid. It's sitting right here in front of you. Got too much measurements going on in my head. All right, so 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. All right, so let's figure out how out of this sheet of paper I can get the most out. 2 3/4. Hey, Julie. All right, so this is oversized paper, so it's 8 inches that way, so it's probably going to be most reasonable to do the 4 inches this way, right? So let's just do that. and then see how many 2 3/4 we can get this way. Wait a minute, did I figure that right? Yep. All right, so there isn't too much waste there. If I did it this way, I'd get 3 out that way. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, I'd get 9 out. And this way I'm getting 8 out. You know what? It might be better to do it the other way. Ah, I already got this measured. Who cares? All right. Do you guys think I should... I do wear bathing suits when I go to the pool. Elaine, I haven't been to the pool in however long. So, but I do have swimsuits. Focus, you freak. Just, let me see. So I'm going to get, what did I say, 8 out? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2. I'm going to get 8 out. So I need 6 sheets of paper. How you like that? You like that? I'll try and cut them all at once. With these goofball edges, that may be easier said than done. If I'm cutting through too many sheets, I won't cut them all at once. Where's the one I measured? How could I lose it? There it is. Okay. We'll cut that crap off first, so we'll have a better chance of getting it straight. And remember, the blade is really sharp, so I don't have to really press. All right, that's off there. I've got the white out here, Dee Dee, so it's going to be unfocused for just a minute. Just give me a minute. And I cut off my 2, well, I never measured it over here, so we'll just do this. All right, there we go, cool. And I know a lot of you would just get out your paper cutters and do this. I don't trust those. Like the Fiskars ones, I've never gotten a straight cut on one of those yet. I trust my cuts more than I trust theirs. Doesn't take too long. Just jog it again real quick and make sure. Okay. All right, we should have enough, exactly enough to do exactly the number we need. We'll see. Oh, I need to cut the... All right, I can cut 2 of these, I think. Yeah, those cuts are good. I love when a plan comes together. This one I don't worry about quite as much because when you fold and collate the signatures, you're going to end up cutting off any imperfection anyway. So I know a lot of people wouldn't do that. I'm going to do it. So if that bothers you, I would say go get a beer or fix yourself a drink so you can tolerate what's coming. Okay? That one's not quite as perfect, but it's okay. I could not exist in Oklahoma without air conditioning. And I think about our ancestors who didn't have it, and I think, what the hell did they do? But I think a lot of them napped in the afternoon. You know, like so many of them out here, especially in the Midwest, Texas, whatever, were, you know, they were working on the farm, whatever. I think they just laid down and slept in the afternoon. Like they did the whole siesta thing, which is not a bad way of life by itself. All right, there's the paper for our signatures. I would say those are pretty darn good cuts. Now, I should have actually done this before, but I didn't think of it. I'll fold 2 at a time. Normally, I would not fold 2 at a time, but because I don't want you guys to be in agony, I will do 2 at a time. Look at those. Those corners are matching up perfect. I should run in and kiss myself in the mirror right now. Okay, that's 1, 2, 4, 6. And I just kept 8 sheets per signature, like was in that little book. You can decide. I mean, if your paper is thinner, this is a little bit thicker paper, so you have to adjust your signature sheet count to accommodate, you know, the amount of space you had left too. Chances are, Rachel, yeah. Actually, Robert Vaughn just came in, so I maybe could corral him, but then he'd probably say, will you cook for me? What are we having for dinner? But I can't say too much bad about Robert Vaughn because even with our Sonic being all goofed up, he has not missed a day making sure I have iced coffee. So he's either figured out that it makes me nicer, that would be my guess, or something. Because, boy, I have to say, the boy is diligent. Okay, so that should be 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 2 done. we did not sleep in the day. We did go dive in the pond when it became super hot. I'm 58, so I lived without. See, we didn't have air conditioning in Colorado either. Well, we didn't have central air, but my dad came from Oklahoma, so he got a small air conditioner, and our living spaces were air conditioned, but bedrooms at night were not. So, yeah, I lived without air conditioning too, but if it's available, get it. Just, it makes your life infinitely better. Just saying. And my grandmother in Iowa, and it gets hot as hell in Iowa, she didn't have air conditioning. And I remember going to visit her in the summers and sleeping in those upstairs bedrooms. Oh my God. Yeah, swamp coolers are pretty popular in Colorado, as are attic fans. But the nice thing about Colorado is it's dry. And so in the evening, when the sun goes down, it cools off immediately. In the south, where it's humid, it's like a blast furnace around the clock. When it gets really hot, and we've not had that the last couple years. But yeah, I mean, it's just so oppressive you can't sleep. In this house, I would probably go down and sleep in the basement because our basement stays pretty much a constant cool temperature. But yeah, usually a swamp cooler in Colorado is more than adequate. Or just go sit in the shade somewhere. That dry heat is so different than humid heat. And I always hated people who said that. Oh, God, you know, you're so lucky you have this dry heat. I thought it was just hot as hell regardless. But then when I moved here, yeah, it became obvious real quick, the difference. But I have to say, when I moved here, I have arthritis in my hands, wrists, and I'm getting it in my shoulder now. But anyway, when I moved here, my hands quit hurting, and I kept attributing it to the humidity. My hands quit hurting, my wrists quit hurting, and my skin just felt so much better. And I quit having bloody noses all the time, because that dry air will just dry you out completely. So there are advantages both places, I guess. It's just what you get used to and what you like. All right. This is the last fold for all the signatures. And I had some leftovers. I wonder what I miscounted. Doesn't matter. Hardly any basements in San Antonio. Yeah, see, I think that's weird. Why some parts of the countries have basements and others don't. Does anybody know why that is? Because almost every house in Colorado has a basement. Maybe unless they've been built recently, but like houses built, my mom's house was built in the 50s. Every house in my neighborhood had a basement. There wasn't a house that didn't have one. And everybody I pretty much knew had basements. And I know some people wouldn't trim this off, but I like it trimmed off, so it's getting trimmed off. See how nice that is when it's trimmed off? Perfect. Perfect little baby signature there. And for 6 of them, it only takes a minute. Just make sure your sheets are pushed back really good. And if you have a trimmer and a print shop, this is really simple. But even with an X-Acto, a sharp X-Acto, this isn't that big a deal. Mostly due to the ground, often have to blast for an underground pool. Okay, water table. Okay, well that would make sense where the water table is. Yeah, that makes sense. we're quite a bit higher than the water table here. Water table is what, about 750, 750, 751? Well, yeah, it would be about that because my well is 750. Oh, I only got 5 signatures. No wonder I had leftovers. I counted wrong. Duh. Alright. Got one more to do. Sorry. And what I'm using as a guide here is the top sheet of paper. Alright. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I thought there was the exact number that I needed. Fold them 2 at a time. Sub pumps, that's for groundwater. They're called submersible pumps. We have one in the lake, and we water the grass, and I water the plants with it. And it just hangs off the edge of my dock. And all I have to pay for is the electricity to run it. Free water. Of course, it's dirty. You'd only drink it if you boiled it in an emergency. All right, we're almost done here. All right, there we go. Okay, need a pencil. All right, so on the cover, I decided I wanted a hole in the center, and then I'm going to have to make me a jig, right? At least that's what I call it. Just a template. Just make yourself a template. Take a piece of paper. Okay, this is the size of the cover. Here's the center. Okay. I know I want 1/8 of an inch on either side. Right? Of the sheet. So if I put this in here at those marks, yep. So there's the center. All right, that one's going to work. So I'm just double checking myself. And this is for you guys' benefit. I could have just done it. Okay, so in the inside of your signatures, make yourself a little template. It's going to run out of, look at it, ran out of lead. That's all right. No worries. We've got another one. And if you use the same template on each one, you know they're all going to be uniform, right? And just make yourself marks at the fold so you know where to punch your holes. Now, tornadoes, that is one thing that I absolutely hate. I hate when we have tornado, because after Robert's son got hit, that, until you see it firsthand, that is the most frightening thing you've ever seen. The damage from a tornado is mind-boggling. And usually it's just property damage. It's not like people don't die in tornadoes, but as a rule, it's property damage. It's more often than not life-threatening. But it's still mind-boggling when you see a tornado, if you go see where it happened. I'd be more worried about, say, hurricanes and the tropical storms that they get in the east, because they're so much larger. Like a tornado, if it's a mile across, that's a big tornado. The thing is, they just travel so far. Okay, so I'm going to punch the holes through the paper, use the awl, line it up with that hole, and just punch it through. And if your awl is sharp, this is virtually effortless, even though you're going through 8 sheets of paper. And it's fairly thick paper. Most of you, I'm sure, have done this. I try and make the center hole slightly bigger because the thread has to go through that hole twice, where the top and the bottoms, they just go through once. A few years back, a freak midnight tornado hit Brad's factory. 3 killed there, 3 in the neighborhood next door. Oh, wow. See, that's just because probably it hit at night, and people weren't... The ones at night really scare me, actually, because you can't see what's coming. And if you don't have tornado sirens in your neighborhood, yeah, you're sitting ducks. Sitting ducks. All right, what did I do with that little kit? And in that little kit, you get the needles. So then you just got to decide what size. I'm going to use... that size will work. Looks like it'll work good. And we have a basement here, which we could go down to, and it's underground, so we probably would be okay. But we have a freighty hole, too. You're up a creek without a paddle. You can say that again. All right. The way I determine the amount of binding thread that I need, I usually just go at least twice and then add a bunch on so I'm not fighting with it, right? So I need 6 of these because I'd rather waste some than fight with the damn thread. It's like a pen that won't write. Throw it away. Life's too short to fight with too short a thread. Okay. Abby's good. And this wax linen has already been pressed flat, so it's pretty easy to get through the eye, which I very appreciate. And you don't have to use waxed, you know, because on that little jean one, I use that baker's twine. It's all still pretty easy. Okay. So there's a name for this, and my guess is CB can tell you for what name of the stitch that I'm going to use. I knew it at one time, but I can't tell you right off the top of my head. So I go from the inside down the middle hole, and I'll start on one edge and work backwards. Okay, and I know there's a hole right there where my lines intersect because I'm working on the inside. This next one gets a little trickier because I'm working on the blind side. And if the leather healed up at all, it might be hard to see, but just go ahead and leave yourself a pretty good tail to work with. And the first one is kind of a pain because that's when you're lining everything up. After that, it gets pretty simple. But you have more flexibility because you're not fighting what's already been put together, right? So go in from the inside, out through the middle, to the top or the bottom. Doesn't matter which you do first. All the way down here to your bottom hole. And then back up through the middle. And right now it's easy to see where that middle hole is. And I try and go on either side of the thread that goes from the top to the bottom. And then when you tie it, it's got something to tie to. So there's your first signature in there. I generally try and pull it a little bit tight while it's flat, because with this flimsy leather, if I pull too hard, it's going to pucker. So just be a little mindful of that. Tie the first one and keep it pretty taut. It's not puckering, so that's good. Tie a double knot, trim it off, first one in. Sweet. And then we'll just repeat that entire process 6 times. And I can see the holes in the leather. I'm sure you guys can't, but I can. So it's not like I'm magic or anything. Trying to keep it out where you guys can see it, so I have to get it at weird angles for me. And I'm only checking really carefully because of this flimsy leather. I want it to look good, right? Pamphlet, maybe that's it, CB, I don't remember. I'm sure a viewer will write me a message and tell me. Okay, so there we got 2. Looks pretty good so far. Alright, this one's being pain. Don't know why. There we go. This flimsy leather is actually really, really easy to work with. Halfway. Gets a little bit more unwieldy the more signatures you get. In some ways it gets easier, in some ways it's just like, ah, you pain in the butt. But yeah, you get the feel for it pretty quickly. And this linen thread, one nice thing about it is it's not going to stretch or, you know, get misshapen with use. It's always going to stay. So, going together like butter, right? It's looking really cute, I have to say. Anything little is cute. It just is cute. That's that. Alright, this hole up here is a little hard to see, so I'm going to punch it through again. There we go. So it's really pretty simple. You guys can see it's like there's nothing hard about this. I think more than anything, people might find it tedious. I do not find this tedious. I could do this all day long. Not tedious in my world, even a little bit. Okay, that one you can see I went through the other wax piece of thread, so it's not wanting to tighten. Yeah, just undo that. All right. Did I not cut enough thread either? I know I did. I had to have pushed it off or something. There it is. I was going to say, I know I'm not that lame brain yet. It's coming, but I'm not there yet. Something to look forward to when I'm a total lame brain, not just a partial lame brain. All right, last one. Now watch, this one will end up being a pain in the butt because it's my last one. There it went through. What are you doing with the hairdryer?
Defrost a little better fridge.
Oh, okay. I hate when he starts taking like hair dryers and appliances outside. It means nothing good is happening out there, right? Or when he brings car parts in the house. Nothing good is going to happen when you see that going on. Believe me, I speak from experience, I know. I do try not to sew through the other thread so I don't have to go through that little hassle that I did just a minute ago. You guys being a pain in the ass right now. Here we go. All right. It is so satisfying when it's finished. Okay, I must have done the same thing because this is not wanting to tighten, or it's just being a little bit more of a pain in the butt. And you don't have a lot of room to work with now, so. Because it's about as full up as it could get. I mean, I suppose I could keep adding, but this is probably as unwieldy as I would want it. Let me put this away before I lose it. Oh, I'm going to need that again. No, I won't. Yeah, I shouldn't need that. I might. Who knows? All right. So let's look at our little design here and see how we like it. That's pretty nice, right? It looks all even and pretty. I love when a plan comes together. And then it wraps around about halfway. So all I got to do now, and the cut's pretty good. I don't have, see, like on this one, when they mounted the closure, they didn't get it exactly straight. So this sticks up a little bit more, but you can see my cut was pretty perfect. Just saying. Just saying. Okay. Let's decide how much. I always use too much elastic as well because I'd rather have more than enough than not enough. So that's pretty much how we do that. How does this stuff get all tangled up when it's in the package like that? That's what I want to know. So how I'll decide this is I'll go ahead and get it assembled like I want it, right? And then loosely just wrap it around once and add some extra because you're going to want some to tie the knot. And again, it's like that linen. It's better to throw it away than to fight with it. So there you go. Let's pick out. I don't have a huge number of charms. I have enough, but I just don't have a huge number. But let's look at them because they're fun as hell. There's footprints in the sand, and it even has the thing on the back. Those are too big, you know, so I try and pick a charm that is, you know, the same, you know, will work with the size. These are all too big. That one has Grove on the back. Oh, no, Grow on the back. I say Grow. That would be weird. Here's I Love South Padre Island, but that's obviously not going to work for everybody. There's a circus tent. I think I have a monkey that goes with the, I think these two went together. Not my circus, not my monkeys. The monkey is pretty damn cute though, but he's kind of big for this. And then I got some Shrinky Dinks. These, somebody sent me these. There's a bear and a cat. These are big too. And a deer. And a koala. Yeah, not my circus, not my monkeys. I have two of those apparently. There's a little Starbucks cup. A globe. There's a baby koala bear that I did get in Australia. There's a ruler. You can't go wrong with a good ruler. There's a Shrinky Dink pen. That one's way too tiny. More globes. I think those are too big. They're nice. I like them, but they're kind of big. There's another monkey. I don't like giving my monkeys away. What's this one? There's another piece of a ruler. The Eiffel Tower. Koala. I'm keeping the koala. Here's tuna breath. Why would you have a charm that says tuna breath? Do you use Monopoly game pieces as charms? No, Judy, but that is a great idea. There's a little peanut and a globe. Let's see what's in these. I think these are all the smaller ones, but they're probably not as fun. All right, let's look. Here's a Shrinky Dink Mickey Mouse, a couple of them, but they don't have holes punched in them, so that's a problem because I can't get a ring through them. There's a cat. Little seed packets. I don't know where I got those and why they don't have holes in them, darn it. Oh, this one does. That's a little Mocha Java. That's kind of cute. Okay, maybe I lied. Yeah, the seed packets do have holes, but the Mickey Mouse does not. And then keys and a heart. And here's some lizards. Why would you have lizards? Why would you have multiple lizards? That's what I want to know. Where did I get those? Where did they come from? 4 lizards. And there's a little frog. There's an arrowhead. There's a house mouse. Got a bunch of the little hearts. Those I could actually colorize with alcohol inks too. Maybe the heart is a good one. And then there's a little key ring. I like these square ones. This one's just a heart. That one's not bad. I like that. And then this is an L. Why would I have an L? And a feather. So we have a few choices anyway. None of these are going to work. So put those back in the bag. Dee Dee, I have my charms double bagged. And then these in this bag are crowns. The little crowns are pretty good. Now somebody sent me these. I'm almost certain somebody sent me all the crowns. But they're a little bit big. This one would be okay. It's small enough. So what do you guys think? I'm asking your free advice. Here's another one. Oh, this is an M. I did buy that. Because Merle, right? That's too big. The monkey's too big. I think that's too big. So, that one is too big. Any of those I think would work. Except tuna breath. Nobody wants tuna breath. Tuna breath goes with the cat? Yeah, I think so. Lizards? You like the lizards? They don't have... I'd have to figure out how to get a hole in them. They're kind of pliable. I probably could drill a hole in it. I just don't know. Would you do it on their nose? I'm going to start doing that, Judy. Use a little ruler, so you think? It actually would go really well with this. I do like the bronze kind of color. I do like that. Let's see what looks best with the color of the leather. Yeah, the ruler does actually look really good. The peanut's too bright. It looks too bright and shiny, which would mean the Eiffel Tower is that way too. The arrowhead would not look bad. The feather would not look bad. The frog, I think, is too bulky. The little square one would look cute, but I kind of do like the bronzy ones. And the crown would also be good. Robert doesn't have a Dremel tool. He breaks them. I have the Dremel tools. All right, we're going to use the ruler one. I think I can always get more of the ruler ones. I think I actually got those at Hobby Lobby, but I haven't been to Hobby Lobby in forever, but we're going to use the ruler. All right, the rest of those get thrown back in. And I probably have more charms somewhere too, but yeah, this was the one I was able to find easy, so there you go. All right, so first thing, and actually this one would hang a little bit better, but I don't think I have the bronze snap ring. This would work better if it had another ring on it, but I don't have one that will match, so. Oh, I do have skills to use that tool. Yeah, I love Dremels. Are you kidding me? Dremel is the best tool ever made. And the coolest thing about my Dremel, Judy, oh, I should get it out and show you guys. I don't know where I was. We were traveling when I saw it, but we ended up in a hardware store somewhere, not here. They'd never have anything that cool here. But there was a Dremel kit. It didn't come with the Dremel tool, but it was all the Dremel attachments. And it was in a kit, and it had snaps that you unsnapped, and then it folded out. And in there is all the Dremel tools or accessories you could ever want. Like all the little polishing pads and sanding pads, and oh, it was just like heaven. Heaven. I'm not kidding you. I bought it. And I hide it because, yeah, you don't want anybody using that. All right, now getting the hole in here, because these are 1/8 of an inch apart. Let me see on one of them that I did. There's multiple ways you can do the hole for the elastic. I kind of like it on the back, like I did Kimberly's. But this is smaller elastic too, where I could just go into a hole between those two. But that to me is the nicest appearing, right? So maybe I'll try that and hope it's just doesn't goof up. Mine is a large carry-all with drawers for the attachments no one touches. See, anybody who loves a Dremel, yeah, you have to hide it from boys because boys screw up everything. Okay, I'm going to try to go right here in the middle and hope to God it works. That should be good. Then getting the elastic through. Oops, and I'm going the wrong way. You want the elastic tied on the inside, right? So you don't see it. So probably what I ought to do is try and put them through together, but I don't think that's going to work. So I'm going to have to do them one at a time. This is where you're going to see me struggle. The first one is always easy. Oops, sorry, I just butted the camera with my head. And then try and pull that aside. And because this leather is flimsy, I really don't want to wreck it, but I'll do my best. I might have to get a needle out, and yeah, let me try the needle. But threading the elastic through the needle, this is the worst part of the whole damn thing. And I can't use the needle with too big an eye because the hole will get too big. So let me see what I can do here. I'll try and cut the elastic at an angle so I can force it through. Sometimes my inability to see really, really annoys me, and right now that's the time. All right. Don't know if it's going to work. You know what? I'll use that darning needle. Taking off some of the outside, because if I can get it started, probably can pull it through pretty easy. But honestly, this is the worst part of the whole thing, is getting the elastic through the hole. So if anybody has any suggestions to make it easy, why don't you speak up now, or just don't say anything. And I'm just a little bit afraid to pull the elastic because I don't want to tear the hole. You guys aren't going to be able to see this, I don't think. All right, darning needle it is because I can't see. I have a darning needle that has a pretty big hole but is not real fat around, so let's try that one. might be the best we can hope for. I've done it before, so I know I can do it, right? But it's worth it, so keep fighting it. The other thing you could do is make 2 holes, one right above another. I just don't think it looks as good, but I've done it before. It just doesn't look nice. Cutting off as much of this fluff as I can to make it easy on my old eyes. Alright, I'm going to have to get it out of the camera so I can actually see something, because I can't see squat over there. And then when I moved it, it came out of the hole. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. Go through. It's going. In fact, it might have enough through it that I could get it threaded this way. Alright, let's try it. Looks crazy right now, but all it needs to do is get partway through the hole. There we go. Keep your fingers crossed. Oh, it went. Yeah, baby. I think I got enough that I could go get, look at it. And I say I could go get a pair of needle nose pliers at this point and help it. Got it. All right. Now, before I tie it, I'll just leave those in there. Go ahead and close the book. Get it like you want it. And while it's not tied, go ahead and ease out as much as you think you're going to want. And I usually try and make it long enough that it'll go out the top of the book so that you're not fighting it. But also is a really nice closure and will keep things tight, right? So right there is perfect. It's a little hard to get around. I might make it a little bit looser, but not much. And then tie yourself just a nice knot. And that might mess with you a little bit when you're actually using the book, but not like having a closure on the edges. You know what I mean? All right. Brenda is going to help me. Wrap ends in Scotch tape. Dental floss. Make out of elastic. Put dental floss through. Put dental floss through the hole and pull both through. Brenda, hi. You are a genius. That is actually a really good idea. But then tie your knot pretty tight. And before you cut it, go ahead and make sure that it's going to work like you want it to work. That's a little tight, but it's a nice closure. Yeah, see that ruler? I like the ruler, I really do. But it would be better if it was on a snap ring. I'm going to leave it like that, I think. Might loosen it a little. Of course, getting the knot out now would be hell. Maybe not. Nope. Alright, I'm going to ease it out a little bit, not much. So this part, just finagle with it until you're happy with the results. That's about as much as I can say. I don't want it difficult to use. Yeah, see it still needs a little bit. You don't want it difficult, but you don't want it too loose too. Otherwise it's useless as a binder or as a closure. That should be about right, I'm thinking. Yeah, that feels better. Yeah, it's still too tight. All right. Just finagle with it. It's the best I can tell you. Now it's going to be a pain in the ass to untie. No, it's not. All right, that should be loose enough. All right, we're going to see. Hi, Abigail. Thanks. Yeah, that's better. It's tight enough that it will keep it closed, and yeah, it's not a big pain in the butt. Too big a pain in the butt. All right, there we go. Very cool. I will snip off that excess. Leave a little bit longer tails on this so it's not inclined to come untied, because remember, every time you use the closure, you're putting stress on that knot and on the leather. So, but see in the back, it looks okay. It looks good. But more importantly, when you're actually using the book, which is, one of the things you learn in design school is design exists to facilitate readership, or design exists to facilitate using it, So as cute as this is, these big ass closures make the book far less usable. So when you're designing your own, don't, fall into that trap, because that knot there in the middle, that's not really going to bother you too much. The hairs might, but the knot isn't going to bother you. So there. And then I don't know how many of you have worked with leather, but if you wanted at this point, and I think you can walk into Lowe's or anybody else and get it, you can buy punches to put initials or whatever on leather. Designs, they make all kinds of them. Look up saddle, I think it's Saddle Tools. Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Terry. So yeah, there's our little book. Do we want to make one in denim? Well, no, I can't do denim, because if I did in denim, I'd want to do, I want to sew on it first. So I'm actually done early. I didn't know how long this would take, honestly. So do you guys have any questions? I could start another one just so we have a place to hang out. I won't get it done, obviously, but I could go ahead and do the measurements and stuff. Thanks, CB. The corners should not curl with time. Yeah, no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't curl. And I don't know if you remember that this piece of leather was wrinkled, but see, after it's in its form, you don't even notice those wrinkles. Now, one of the things, you know what, let's try, since we have some time and some leather pieces left over. I'm a person who likes things a little bit distressed. And I was wondering, like the another piece, piece of leather that I have, you can tell that this has been well used, you know, and when you scratch it or whatever, it makes marks in the leather. This is not going to be inclined to do that, where you can see the distress marks, but I was just curious. Let me see. This one is long enough that I can make another one out of it, so let's see, we'll just cut off this weird excess part and jack around with it real quick. Because I was thinking it might be kind of cool if you could distress it a little bit yourself, right? But yeah, it shouldn't curl, I wouldn't think. That thin, soft piece embossed in an embossing folder. Oh, we could try that, CB. I'm a person a little distressed like Robert and Dee Dee. You're so funny, Rachel. All right, let's try. Just thinking, I'd have to get a permanent color, and none of my distress are permanent. So let's see what. I've got an archival that's brown that should work. Just like inking the edges of your pages makes it look a little bit more distressed. Let's see if you can distress the leather. Here's an old, and I'm pretty sure it's brown. Yep. All right. Let me find scrap here. Okay, the inside, you can change its color and distress it. Not sure about the outside. Yeah, see, it's not wanting to take that. CB, you've got me thinking now. I'm wondering, do you want me to try one through there? I don't know if I'm strong enough. I mean, I can darken it a little bit, but it's not looking distressed, so. Of course, it could be the color that I chose too, right? Use a hammer? You mean with the embossing folders? I don't know, it's interesting because this is thin and pliable. I'm almost thinking, you know what, that could almost work. I'm going to try black. Okay, the black would work. Let me get a piece of something stiff. I usually have something at my elbow. It's usually in my way. I don't know, this could look really good on this because with the black. Oh, I'm wanting to do that now. Yeah, I like that. Right? All right, I might distress that way. I kind of like that. I like the black around the edges. Looks very cool. All right, how big is a... All right, I'll just go get one. Let me go get my embossing machine real quick. I can't do it on camera. I'll do it off camera, but I'll talk to you while I'm doing it. Okay, I don't have a huge amount of space here, but let's look at the embossing folders I have and choose one that we think might work. And if we ruin it, who cares, right? All right. I have dies and embossing folders, and I don't have a huge amount of embossing folders. There's makes it look like metal. That's a die cut, die cut. I guess all the die, well, I used the die cutter last, so that's why they would be up front. All right. Okay, and Dabbler says you've embossed pleather but not real leather. Stays on in brown may work. I don't have stays on in brown. I have 3 huge bags with leather scraps that I bought in an upholstery store for peanuts. I've made a few books and even tiny ones. Yeah, see, Abigail, I love, well, and Dee Dee has said that too. This one is kind of nice. I don't know if you guys can see what the design is. Oh, what can I show it against? Leather. See if you guys can see. It's an all-over design. This one's kind of got diamonds. This one's stripes. This one's, I hate this one. That's polka dots. There's a brick wall. And this one's bubbles. And then wood grain. And, what do they call this? Looks like embossed tin, you know. Come on, Tim, you normally name your stuff. Tell me what it is. Foundry is what they called it. Anyway, I'm not sure which one. The bubble one might be cool. The wood grain one, I think I ruined. Yeah, it looks weird. Anyway, who cares? Who cares? The rivets, you want to try the rivet? Let's try the bubbles first. I think it's got enough open areas. We're going to try that. This leather definitely will not work, so we're going to try this. Let's do it on a piece that I know is not usable. Or is harder to use. The other thing that might be kind of hard is, like for this little book, it was 7 inches, so you'd have to run it through twice, like a computer circuit board. Don't have that one. Let's do the circles. But I guess if I did it side by side, it wouldn't be that hard. All right, let's try this. All right, it's going through there. We're going to see. It's a good experiment. And I just have a Cricut Cuttlebug. So let me look at the instructions and see which plates I need. This is how often I use this. I don't do it enough that I know which plates to use. That's pitiful. All right, I think I know which ones. For embossing, you just don't use the rubber thing, I think. We're going to find out how utterly inept I am. Oh, it's going through way too easy. Oh, but wow. If I put just a piece of cardstock in there, because it went through way, way easy, it did emboss. So, that's crazy, isn't it? Okay, now, those of you that emboss a lot, if I put ink on the embossing folder and then went put it through. What the hell? We're trying it. We are trying it, boys and girls. Hold it up again. Well, it's very faint, but I know if I put a piece of cardstock or something in there just to make it a little bit, yeah, shim it. But what I'm thinking is if I put ink on the embossing folder and then put this in and then smushed it in, if I couldn't actually emboss in ink. And Dabbler's saying, yep, it should work. We're going to try it again. We are going to try it again. Now we know we need a shim. And the ink's got to go on the sticky upside. All right, we're going to try this. If we ruin everything today, we don't care. We don't care. How about that? We just don't care. But I've got to be ready. I've got to have the shim. And okay, the shim's over there. All right. And I know that's probably not going to come off my embossing thing, and I'm okay with that too. All right, ready, set. All right, here it goes. All right, this is going through a little bit tougher. I think I could shim it again and still get it through. Okay, that worked. Sweet. Can you guys see it? Hold it. So you could have bubbly leather. That's what you did with the plants that you put through the embosser? Yeah, and I did that, but I was doing it on paper, not on leather. So I just, I didn't think about it. That's crazy. And it is embossed. You can see on the back side that it is in fact embossed. How crazy is that? I don't know over time with wear how long this ink would stay viable though. But that's okay because it's still embossed. You know, it would just start looking distressed. That's so cute. And I do have some ink removers, so I might be able to get it off this embossing folder. I know, isn't that so cute? So now I probably, that's it, Robert's not eating. Hi, Colleen. Thanks for coming. You were going to go take a nap? Well, I'm not going to be on much longer, so you're going to get your nap on. Yeah, I do have, I hate stays on. I do have black stays on, but I don't have brown stays on. I haven't used stays on in forever because honestly I think it gives me a headache. Let me see here. But stays on, yeah, that would actually, then you know it's going to stay because it's name. Yeah, I have jet black stays on if it's even viable anymore. I haven't used this in so long. Let's just try a stamp real quick. See, I try things with you guys here that I wouldn't try otherwise. Yeah, see the stays on? Yeah, it's not stamping at all. So this is a piece of junk. Say adios in the garbage. But that does not mean I can't order one because I still have a credit card. Clean the folder. Thank you, Barbara. They make leather dyes in like a fingernail polish bottle and you can place it in tiny spots, lots of colors. Cool. Well, I don't know. I would think just using the this archival ink. Yeah, I would think it's going to stay on. I mean, it's not smearing on here. Of course, you know, and how often are you going to use this little leather cover? Honestly, let's be real. But I do like the distress edge. So I am distressing the edge. I'm distressing the edges right now. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm doing it. I do need something stiffer than that, though. Piece of chipboard would work awesome. I know I just put one in here the other day. Yeah, this will be fine. I'll just cut it smaller so it's more manageable. And the reason I want the chipboard is because the leather's so flimsy that I need something to hold it against while I distress it, right? And I do like the black, but only because we did the black thread and elastic, right? I don't know, this is interesting. I'm gonna have to think more about this. What else you could do with it. Because I probably will leave this stuff out. And make a few more, since I went to all the trouble to get all this stuff out. Because believe me, going down in that storeroom is not something I get excited about. It reminds me how much work is down there that is not getting done. You could sew on this as well. You know, if you wanted, like the jean, I want to sew on the jeans. But you could sew on this leather as well. It's very easy to puncture through. So, if you wanted to put an initial or something on there, you could do that. Horse Planet Stitch. I don't know a Horse Planet Stitch. My computer's away. I can't really read the chat right now, so wait until I get this done, and then... Of course, I have the internet, so anything you guys suggest I can look up, because I can goggle stuff. I'm a good goggler. And you could round the corners on this. I mean, anything you could do on paper, I'm beginning to think you could do with this leather as well. Hi, Elmaris. Is Horse Blanket Stitch, I think I call it something different, but is Horse Blanket Stitch the one that, let me see if I can draw it. This ought to be interesting. Let me think. You come up, and it's like that, and it goes over the edge, and then it comes back up here. So it would be just a series of this. Is that this kind of stitch you're talking about? That's really ugly, but you know what I'm talking about. Is that Horse Blanket? Blanket Stitch. Okay, then that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, you could do that easy. The only thing is, you'd have to be pretty meticulous. Of course, if you're going to do it, you might as well be meticulous anyway, right? And it did not get, I got a little bit of black there, but I wouldn't even worry about that. But I could do the inside as well. Yeah, I like it distressed a little bit better. And that closure is just tight enough. Yep. Damn, I did a good job. So glad I decided to take a break. May not go back. I usually watch replay. Oh, darling, you should always come to the lives, because then you get to hang out with the Fibs, and they're all really funny and good people, and yeah. Lives are a ton of fun. Yeah, I like it distressed. I like it distressed. You could use a fork to mark the stitch holes. Yeah, you could. That is a pretty little book, right? I do want to change that ruler, though. I want it on a swivel. So probably this week, you guys, I'm going to call it quits here pretty quick. This week, I'll go ahead and make a couple other journals, and I think next week I'll give a couple of them away, okay? So make sure you come back next week. Because, yeah, now that I've got kind of the design, and I do like this leather. I wasn't sure if I would, but this may be my favorite. It might be. What do you plan to do with this itty bitty book? I'm not sure yet. See, on the one that Dee Dee sent me, I've been doing Zentangle patterns as more, well, I mean, it's just a fun thing to do. But when I'm Zentangling, it'll give me an idea of what they look like, because my binder has gotten so big and so unwieldy that just even looking for patterns is a pain in the neck. And so I had been thinking about, well, I need to do a sheet that has a lot of my favorite patterns on it. So when I'm doing a big one, because I like Zentangling, I can just look at my cheat sheet and pick one out. And then I got thinking, why don't you just do a book of them in that journal Dee Dee sent you? Because I've been trying to think about what I wanted to do with this little journal. Oh, another thing I did last week, in this last section, I did some of the dangles. I made a little dangle dictionary. So I don't have to stress my brain so much. So, Judy, thank you so much. I love you for coming. You still have a day job? Well, retirement was the best thing I ever did. And I love my job. But I have to say, nothing beats sitting on your butt all day. So yeah, these are just a little book of Tangle samples. And I'm trying to do the ones I really enjoy drawing, and the ones that I think look good in, you know, a bigger pattern. So, yeah. So one of those, yeah, see, I've got an accordion book one. Oh, I think it's, is it here or is it in the living room? Hang on, let me see here. Yeah, see, I've got, and this is just done with paper, but here, this is like, but this is not complete. I did this years ago before I had very many patterns. I did this as kind of a travel sample with accordion folds. But coming up with the spacing and the design for the cover becomes much harder. So I don't know. I like them both. But there you go. Yeah, Dangle Dictionary. So then all my little things will be in one place, and I'll be very happy. So yeah, I think I'll make a couple of these this week, because I have plenty of the supplies. Probably the thing I'm missing the most of is charms. But I'll dream up something. And next week I'll give a couple of these away, I think. Because you guys are so worth it. You've got 3 signatures done so far, Kathleen. Yay, you! All right, you guys, I'm going to take off a little bit early. I'm going to leave this mess out so I can either keep playing with the leather or keep working on the book. I feel sorry for Robert and his dinner prospects for tonight, but I don't know. He stayed this long. I probably can't run him off now, right? So thanks so much for coming, you guys. And go enjoy, if you've still got a little bit of holiday left, go enjoy whatever you've got left. And yeah, I very, very appreciate you guys. Love you. See you. Bye.